AI seems to be everywhere these days, revolutionizing industries and transforming our daily lives. But for newcomers and skeptics, understanding AI can feel like navigating through a maze of complex concepts. Today, we're diving into one such concept, hallucination in AI. And joining me is Brandon Tidd, lead solutions architect at 729 Solutions, to do a little AI demystifying and to shed light on how AI hallucination concerns are being addressed. How's it going, Brandon?
It's good. Happy to be here, James, as always.
Well, I hope you're not hallucinating right now because we got a pretty big discussion happening here. So talk to me about AI hallucination.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, so we've all in this space heard horror stories about AI just going rogue and offering anything from $1 cars to free flights and just making up policies. And so it's a really concerning when you're putting AI in front of your business facing customers. You need to be able to trust that that experience is going to be on brand and appropriate. And not only is it going to give customers the right information, it's not going to go off the rails the moment a bad actor comes in and tries to influence it. And so the thing to remember about these tools is that they don't know what they're saying. They're probability engines that at the end of the day, they're just picking the most probable word out of a word cloud. That word cloud just happens to be based on the entire internet. And they're really good at doing that. They're really bad at understanding the context of what they're saying today. And so the industry is recognizing this as a challenge, and it's taking steps to combat that. So one of the things that we're hearing about is AI systems that are using other AI systems to cross-check and almost fact-check in real time. Hey, before you say that to the end user, let's go over here and check to make sure that that's accurate and cross-check it against another system. And only if it's accurate, or only if we have a high level of confidence that it's accurate, do we then return the information to that customer. And so anytime you're dealing with an AI tool, be it Microsoft's Copilot, ChatGPT, or a custom solution, you really need to be cognizant of the fact that we're in the very early stages of AI in terms of trusting that that content is going to be 100% accurate. And if you look at the bottom of any system that you're using, it'll say, this chat can make mistakes. It's not perfect. And at the end of the day, it kind of falls under the same rules of if the slot machine malfunctions, you're not entitled to the prize, right? It's just the house rules in terms of when an AI hallucinates. You can't take that and use that against the company. Although people have tried and successfully settled that, yes, that AI represents your company. And so you have to basically honor whatever agreement that it's making on your behalf because it's a contract of sorts, which is why we're seeing the industry take things very, very slowly. But that being said, it's only going to get better from here. This is the worst it will ever be.
So you mentioned, companies or businesses using AI to fact check AI, which is fascinating to me. What other kinds of strategies can, businesses use to prevent this AI hallucination from happening?
Yeah. So one of the steps that Zendesk took was take it internal first. So we're offering the AI to your internal employees as a resource to help streamline their operations and look at using OpenAI as a platform to help summarize content or tone shift content to make it friendlier or more on brand or more professional, or just spell check it. And the thing is that when you put the human in the loop in between the AI and the end user, you give a chance to not only fact check it programmatically, but also put a human in the loop to say, that's not accurate. We should change that. And so that's where we're starting to see that hybrid solution of AI plus agent equals the win.
Yeah. And so far, there are two pretty big takeaways that I am getting from you right now. One, we all need to get on the same page in terms of knowing and believing that AI is not perfect. And two, we need to make sure that we're putting that human element in there as well to, do the final vetting or the final fact checking of whatever is going out into the wild.
Yeah. And a really great example of it, and a kind of ironic one is Amazon recently got busted. They had it made headlines last year with the just walk out technology in some of their stores where they had all these cameras and all this AI, and you were just taking stuff and putting it in your cart and you just walk out, and the technology automatically knew exactly what you purchased and was tallying it up correctly. Well, it came out very recently that their technology was 1,000 people in India watching those cameras and tallying stuff manually. So even when we're touting things as AI, it's not always 100% AI. AI is really good at magic moments. It's not really good at magic end-to-end solutions yet.
So in terms of resources that people can tap into, specifically around AI hallucination and perhaps even strategies that they can deploy and, on their own business operations, are there any things that you could recommend?
Yeah, when it comes to AI solutions, it really runs the gambit from just infusing AI into what you're already doing, be it AI inside of Zendesk, or adding on a third-party tool that's kind of wrapping itself around OpenAI to make it more user-friendly for your business. There's lots of things that can be done to bring AI into your business safely. And really, that's what we're exploring as a company, as a consulting firm, to really understand where people need to use AI, where the value is and where the benefit is of AI, and most importantly, how to do it safely. The worst thing you can do with AI right now is just let it run roughshod over your entire operations and then find out on the receiving end that it hallucinated and went into left field and you didn't have the proper safety rails there to keep it in its box.
Yeah, this actually is reminding me a little bit about the conversation that we were having before we hit record on this particular video or this particular conversation. And that is, this whole idea of when you're developing an AI project, specifically something that is bespoke is what we were talking about, something that is a custom built, solution, that it takes a certain type of business to understand that, AI is not perfect. They're going to have the human in the loop, and it's an iterative process. You got to keep an eye on it. We've got to build, measure, and learn. And I think we're very much at the beginning phases of this artificial intelligence era. And it's just going to grow, but, we have to kind of grow along with it as well, and adapt to it as well. We can't just throw it out there, and have the perfect thing right off the bat, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, we are very much in the early days of AI, and everything that I've been looking at as I've done my research has likened this to the early days of the internet, where people didn't really know what the internet was. They didn't know why it was better than just communicating via telephone and fax machine. And we were upending business process with new things like email. And that was just 25 years ago. And so now that we look at how far the internet has come in the past 25 years, if you think about and relate where we are today to the internet in the late 90s, think about what that means for the next 25 years of generative AI once they fix hallucinations, once the companies stabilize, and really come out with products that can add value to your humans in the loop. It's going to be a game changer. And if you're planning on being in business past the end of 2025, you're going to need to be considering what your AI strategy is now, because it's the companies that are thinking about it now and testing it now securely that are going to be the companies that are the name brands in 2030, 2035.
So I'm going to put you on the spot and force you again to take your crystal ball out. I think I've done this to you before, but if you had to make any predictions just in terms of AI hallucination and when, I don't want to say it gets entirely solved, but let's just say mostly solved. Do you have any estimates on, time estimates in terms of when that might happen?
I think what we're seeing based on the acceleration of the trends right now and the urgency at which it needs to be figured out if these companies and this technology is going to be trusted, is we're talking a matter of a couple of years tops, before the industry really solidifies. And it may be faster than that. Microsoft, in their latest rollout of Windows 10, put the Copilot logo right in the taskbar. And so if that's any indication of where they feel they're at with level of comfort for Copilot to be able to start having conversations with anybody who uses a Windows PC, it may be here sooner rather than later.
I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about in terms of AI hallucination.
Again, we're in the very early stages of generative AI, and we see companies like Microsoft and Google that are really trying to put it out there in terms of a tool that is helpful to you in certain situations. And so I think right now, if you're a small business or you're a company that is thinking about scaling and growing over the next, 5 to 10 years, now is a really good time to at least familiarize yourself with what's being made out there, with what's being done. 20 years ago, I was telling people why it was important that they had a website. Now I'm telling people why it's important to have an AI strategy. And it feels like the same conversation. It's like, oh yeah, I know that those big companies like, Netflix out there have websites and cool things, but we're Blockbuster. We're relying on a brick and mortar solution. The industry's not going to change that fast. So the time is now to get AI literate, and we're here to help you with that. So if you look in the video description, I'm sure James has put a link to a page where we can collect a little bit of information about you and what your needs are or what your curiosities are about AI. And then we can jump on a quick free consultation call with you to understand how we might be able to help you leverage this new and upcoming technology in a safe way that is hallucination free.